Looking good. Like it. All right, Melinda. Yeah, it's rolling.
Okay, great.
Thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Of course. Thanks for having us and for hosting us.
Yeah, I really appreciate your energy, and there's so many things I want to ask you. So, first of all, can you tell me a bit about your career aspirations and what you want to do in the future?
Career aspirations. I basically aspire to do everything and anything. So
that's very specific of you.
Okay, I actually aspire to inspire others to live their best life. So I feel like I can only do that by leading by example. So my idea of my best life would be to give back to all of my friends and family and to make sure they're all taken care of. And career-wise, I aspire to do a lot of things. I'd love to fly around the world giving keynote speeches. I aspire to be a public speaker. I aspire to get my doctorate in psychology, go back to school for that, only if it's remote though, because I want to travel forever. And I also aspire to be a fashion designer and design my own clothing line. I aspire to make YouTube my full-time job. I aspire to sell e-products. I haven't decided which ones yet, but information products. Honestly, I aspire to do a lot of things.
That's a lot of aspirations. I could see synergistically a couple of them fitting together. You have your YouTube business, and on top of that, then you could sell e-products linked off that. Getting your psychology degree full-time while doing that might be a little bit difficult, but...
Would it be, though? Because I'm really interested in psychology. I could learn about that. I mean, I do I still read books about psychology.
Yeah, so as someone who's actually studied psychology academically, I chose not to go in a PhD research program because I think it's really not worth it. It's more I'm the same as you, right? I just enjoy consuming psychology knowledge, which we can just do through podcasts.
So I don't.
We don't need a PhD.
But I kind of want the PhD.
Don't be gaslit by the academia system who thinks they're the one true way to educate people. No, just listen to podcasts. I've learned more from the Modern Wisdom podcast about psychology than actually what I studied in school. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. This guy. Yeah, he basically brings on professors who are the top in their field or whatever niche they're studying, right? And they'll come on and talk to him about whatever interesting topic, usually human dynamic relationships, probably something to be interested in, right? And or male-female differences. And you could just hear it from the experts themselves giving an hour-long basically explanation of stuff that'll just blow your mind, right? So I've learned so much more from that than, studying in a actual academic setting.
You're right, because it is kind of pressure to study, learn the material a certain way, and then be tested on it, versus studying for enjoyment, just listening while you're riding your bike or doing laundry or whatever.
Yeah, and I would say unless you want to conduct actual psychological research, you do not need an advanced degree.
But I just thought it would be fun to actually go to school.
Have you ever been to school?
I got my bachelor's in marketing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you're right. That wasn't I don't know.
Because I'm glad to be done with school.
Because I kind of want some more degrees. I want to be a student of life, but also, I feel like the academic system could use some upgrading. It's kind of an old school way of testing and...
Yeah, honestly, I think with even the AI revolution and everything, academia is lagging behind and kind of stuck in the previous century. And if you don't have to, commit yourself to an academic program, don't do it.
Honestly,
educate yourself, everybody.
I
listen to my podcast, you'll get educated.
Honestly, even what Andrew Tate is doing with his online university, where he teaches you the things you actually need to know, how to make a ton of money. And
okay, this is very interesting. I want this because I actually the other day I looked it up and was looking at YouTube videos of people who's taken the course, the Hustlers University, and the literal video of the contents you can create, so that you can study in the university. So do you know the topics they offer?
No.
So all right.
E-commerce.
Yeah, basically e-commerce, drop shipping,
OnlyFans model management or something.
Seems on brand. I don't know.
Yeah, because he used to do that. So
I don't know if that was there, but it seems like it could be. But I guess I like the idea that things that are just basically, there's no intellectual value in those specific things. I feel however, but if you do them, you can make money practically, which is why he called it the real world. So I like the idea of an education so that literally you learn how to make money. And I don't know. If the implementation is that good, because I haven't done it myself, but the idea I think is very good to challenge actual academia, which is so out of touch, and the idea is like, okay, you get a degree and choose your degree, right? You can study literary, religion, something, 4-year degree, and you can pay 200, people can pay 200K to study this, come out and realize, hey, I don't have any marketable skills that can make me money, right? So there needs to be some kind of counterpoint to this, which is why like academia is not subject to capitalist competition, right? It's kind of a bubble. So you need like Hustlers University. Think of it as like a competing business, right? If one business is better, it'll get more business than the other business. Like currently colleges are kind of in a bubble where there's no competition. Mm-hmm. So they can have failing business practices essentially and survive.
You're right. I really do think the future is headed towards online universities though. Like I feel like creators are going to have their own, like, I mean, creators already do have like courses. Yeah. And I feel like that is the future of education is you're going to learn from the exact person that you aspire to be like. And you're going to take their courses and learn their life lessons versus like going to school and learning about all these broad general things that don't even really apply to you. You're like wasting so much time with like, because I feel like the school system is set like for everybody versus like if you like get a course from a specific creator, you're going very like narrowly to exactly where you want to go versus like going to classes with everyone doing the same thing. It doesn't really make sense. Everyone should go exactly where they want to go. Yeah, and learn exactly what they need to learn.
I mean, the consistency of what it is you want to accomplish in life and consistent with what you're learning. Like, it should be on the same path. Like, the problem with, traditional education is, like, you can study some degree. It has nothing to do with the thing you actually wanted to have as a career, right? So I do agree that, like, more specific, targeted learning is a better approach. So, yeah, have you taken any courses or anything that helped you in your journey as a creator?
Not courses particularly, but I learned from like YouTube and social media. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I even learn just from consuming content. Like sometimes I'll watch like a YouTuber do like a certain thing and I'm like, oh, I like that. And then I like make a mental note in my head. And I do that for like every single creator. So like that's why I want like my channel to be like the things I like about every single channel that I've seen, like all in one.
Yeah, definitely getting ideas from other creators is very important. But I think there's a balance between consuming and creating, right? You don't want to go a black hole of just constantly consuming and basically getting addicted to screens, right? So like you don't want to be only
educational. That's not really a bad thing. Like I listen to a lot of books or like podcasts. Like I don't really see that as consuming. I see it as learning, honestly, but I guess it is consuming.
No, there is something kind of, I don't know if there's a name for it. Call it like the theory trap. So say you're interested in something, right? So you just, okay, let me learn about it. And you just consume all this theory about it, all these people talking about it, and then you don't actually do anything. It's kind of a seductive trap.
I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of it, but yeah.
I don't even know if it has a name. But the idea is you want to balance it with actually, even if you don't know everything yet, try something.
No, the most important thing is literally the action of like posting, doing the thing, learning from like the data you gather from like failing or whatever, or like the trials of everything. So I know.
This is definitely like this applies to pretty much anything. This is not just creators. I feel like this is a very universal lesson. So yeah. So what's your plan to escape the Matrix? So can you tell me more about why they call you the female Andrew Tate?
Nobody calls you that. You just came up with that.
Okay, I came up with it 5 seconds ago, but
I mean, I do like Andrew Tate's advice. He basically says make a ton of money, be on every grid, get multiple passports, learn multiple languages. I aspire to learn multiple. Well, he doesn't say that, but I think you should.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good part of it if you can learn languages. So.
Yeah, and he basically just says, like, set up your life so that you're free to do whatever you want, which requires a ton of money. So.
Yeah, it's really the money aspect, which is very difficult.
But my like idea of money is like I feel like it's very attainable. Like I don't know, I feel like people think like money is this like elusive thing. It's really hard to get, whatever. But I feel like if you work towards like whatever you're passionate about and love, I feel like that is like the money follows. If you're in sync with who you're actually supposed to be, like your genuine, true, authentic, honest self, like who you were, like who you are, and then you like unpeel the layers of like what you've learned through like societal programming or friends or influences or whatever, and you're like just genuinely who you are. I feel like basically feel like if you just do whatever genuinely makes you happy, the money will follow.
Oh, right.
So that is my advice to people, and that's why I even kind of want to have like my own little online university where people who are living their dream life can teach others how to live that dream life. Like if like say you want to be the next Coldplay, like a musician or something, then maybe I'll have like a musician like teaching that course on like how to like how they started, like literally step by step, like like when I was this age, like I got this manager, whatever, and like this is what you have to do to like be to where I'm at. So that would be cool. In my dream world, I would like to have like like a online university where people can learn how to live their
Melinda's online university.
Hustlers.
Success coaching. Yeah. I mean, I feel like part of that is like choosing a life between being an independent entrepreneur, creator, or business person versus just working for a company, right? I think that's I mean, some people just choose to work for a company and never explore the other part. But like you're saying, like if you have this niche that like you're very interested in, right? I do think if you try very hard at mastering that and creating content or anything that's relatable to other people interested in it, it can become profitable. And so I don't know, like business, content creation, something. Because whatever you're interested in, someone else out there is interested in it.
I also think, like, yes, I agree with that. But I also think, like, you need to think about your audience and what they want. Like, you can even ask them, like, respond in the comments. If I were to sell something, what would you buy from me? Or, like, something as little as that. But, like, I feel like if you, like, you get your, like, audience to, like, know exactly who your little avatar is. Like, did you know that, like, usually your audience who you talk to is, like, a younger version of yourself? Have you heard of that?
I have not heard that one.
Do you feel like like, you give advice to, like, almost, like, a younger version of you?
I, like, things I wish I'd known earlier type of stuff. Well, I guess everyone has to do that. If you're giving advice, it's because you
went through it.
Yeah, you went through it, you didn't know it earlier, and you wished you knew it before. So I feel like anyone giving advice is kind of going through that pattern.
Yeah.
So that does make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say something.
I was going to finish my sentence, but then I forgot what I was. We're so good at this.
Oh, God, we're the best podcasters of all time. Okay.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, is this a real podcast or a micro podcast?
It's a micro podcast, guys. Don't hold us to the standards of normal podcasts, okay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What are 3 things that you like about Andrew Tate?
I think his message is good. I feel like he wants his subscribers to make a ton of money and reach freedom, and I think that's a great message to give to young men. And 3 reasons. I mean, I like his university idea. Honestly, I'm kind of taking notes because, I think the future of education is to go to the university or subscribe to an online course or university of someone that you look up to in a way. So I think he's innovating. I really do. Like, he's kind of like, he calls himself the most Googled man on earth, but it makes total sense. Like, he had like regenerating his content for him, like, and they had a monetary incentive to do so, and that makes total sense. And so he basically made himself viral because he would pay people to like repost his things. Did you know this?
No, but yeah, because he kind of cracked the code of virality, which does make sense.
No, totally. He's totally paving the way.
Cheers.